One will depreciate and one will appreciate. And the same bank will not lend her the R1 million to build her business.
What opportunities exist in the township economy? I posed this question to Gigi Alcock in a recent episode of my podcast, Solutions with David Ansara. What follows is a short extract from a longer conversation. You can watch the full-length interview by clicking on the link in the description below. Enjoy. What do you make of the kind of policy environment? Do you think that a lot of these township entrepreneurs are succeeding in spite of the hostility of government policy?
Look, 100%. I mean, the reality is most people say, let's just get on with it. They carry on building their business. And let's just go through a few things. So as an example, I mean, we how many times do you see some headline? There was a guy selling sandwiches outside the Standard Bank in Rosebank a while ago, and he was making 20,000 Rand a month and supporting his daughter. And the police came and confiscated his goods, and he got some publicity for that, But I mean, you think, all right, if it's true that 34% of our people are unemployed, the adult population are unemployed, then why would you be stopping someone who's trying to create a job by selling sandwiches on the street corner? So the first thing is that authorities have this completely negative view of traders, not only street traders, spaza shops, fast food outlets, auto traders, and so on and so forth. So there's just a starting point. They have a negative attitude towards them. Then we look at the bylaws and various other laws. Most of them are not enabling. So the Minister of Small Business Development said that we need more entrepreneurs in the township, because in her mind, an entrepreneur is Elon Musk. It's not Mrs. Lamini selling fat cooks and quarters and so on. And I mean, it drives me mad, when she says that. So we have these businesses out there. And it's not about even creating startups. The startups are there. We actually should be looking at how do we scale up businesses. This is not a startup environment, an environment where lots and lots of people have these businesses. They have lots of limitations to scaling up. One of them is there's no access to business finance in South Africa. You have it throughout the rest of Africa. You cannot get what we call development finance in South Africa, as in small amounts of money for a short period, in essence, covering things like cash flow and so on. Not necessarily just capital stuff. So there we have an issue. Then we have the issue of no utility bills or proof of residence means you can't register your business. Then if you look at this vast industry, I mean, let's just say spaza shops is 160 billion Rand a year sector. Fast food sector is a 90 billion Rand a year sector. The alcohol sector, licensed shebeens and taverns, is 110 billion Rand a year sector. Hair salons, a 10 billion Rand sector. The taxi industry is a 50 billion Rand a year sector. 18 billion Rand muti sector, herbal medicine, 80,000 Gasi mechanics, and I could go on and on and on. Despite that, we have no mechanism to register these guys for VAT. If we wanted them to come into the system, we make it. There was a statistic a while ago. It took 40 days to register business in South Africa and 4 days to register business in Rwanda. Now, that tells you everything, and when you want to register your business, they make the hoop so high that you actually just ignore it. If you look at VAT registration, this entire sector that I'm describing pays VAT on their purchases and doesn't claim VAT. So there's a net benefit of 15% to the fiscus just from VAT payments. When people say, well, they don't pay tax, well, they pay their 15% VAT and they don't claim it. But what if they could claim the VAT? How easy is it to get a VAT registration certificate? It's almost impossible. So we create, your thing about how we enable this and stuff. Just if we looked at just official recognition, official registration, and these kind of elements, how do we enable this? I'll give another example. The backroom rental sector is a 20 billion Rand a year sector. That's just backroom rental that's being earned by South African households. Now, I was chatting to a lady in Dabiseng the other day who has, she's got 26 back rooms she's renting. She's got a job working for the municipality and renting out these 26 back rooms. She earns 150,000 Rand a month in rental for her 26 back rooms. And she has never been able to get finance for her back rooms. She is currently trying to get finance for back rooms. She went to the bank. They said, we'd give you, she applied for a loan to buy a vehicle. They said she could buy a Mercedes for 1.2 million Rand and they would finance it. But she cannot get $1 million Rand to invest in buying property to extend her business. And as she said straight to me, she said, Gigi, one will depreciate and one will appreciate. And the same bank will not lend her the $1 million Rand to build her business. You know, each one of those items just on its own is a massive hurdle to enabling our economy and our small to medium businesses. And you know, just one on its own is a problem. Imagine the accumulated effect on that, how it's throttling our economy in terms of people entering the formal part of our economy. So instead, they just carry on operating with the costs and the inconvenience and metro harassment and so on, because to enter the formal economy, even in a hybrid version, just doesn't happen.
Yeah, and that's a massive opportunity cost. I mean, Tabi Singh could be scaling up her property business even further. She could have 50 units instead of 20 odd.
Absolutely. And I've seen a lot of work that just show, I mean, a lot of experience of the work I've done has shown that very small elements, like, for instance, short-term credit, can dramatically improve a business's profitability, growth ability, and so on.
And one of the missing pieces is, as you say, the title deeds. And that's one of the reasons why I've been such a strong advocate for private property rights and pushing back against aggressive policies like expropriation without compensation that risks diluting private property rights.
Yeah.
This could be a big mechanism for advancing the poor.
I agree 100%, but I also think that you need a secondary mechanism which allows for property, some sort of security of tenure for your property. And that could be things like a PTO, you know, which has been used extensively around the world and in the rural areas, which is a permission to occupy, where you, in essence, get permission to operate from the premises that you're on, and you're able to sell on or pass on those rights to that business. Now, the reason a title deed or a PTO or anything is even more important in a business setting is that where do you create value? You create value by investing in your business. If you've got no security of tenure, you won't invest in your business. And the second thing is that you've got nothing to sell at the end of it. Now, you know, McDonald's doesn't need to have the own their premises in you know, in a shopping center. They just have to have a 2-year lease, which gives you security, and they sell, you know, they sell on the premises with the lease. Now you can't do that in this space, so you have a massive, you know, disincentive to invest in your business, the inability to sell your business once you've made it really big, and so on and so forth. And that's the limitation. And on a kind of small scale, I wrote about the Gogo who's selling 3,000 Rands worth of Vet Cook a day in downtown Johannesburg. And she's using an old door as her table. And I said to her, why do you not buy a fancy table and so on? She said, because next week the metro will come and confiscate my table, and so I'd rather just buy another second-hand door and use that. Now, we misincentivizing people investing in hygiene, health, upgrading their facilities, better customer experience, and the ability to create value in their business. We disincentivize them from doing that through the various kind of bylaws, behavior, and stuff that we enforce upon those people.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this discussion, you might want to check out the full-length interview with Gigi Alcock. That's linked over here. You can also subscribe to my other channel. That's linked over here. My name is David Ansara. Until next time, take care.